Hey guys, it is Coronagate day 49 and we're going to do something a little bit different today. What we're going to be doing is I'm going to be reading a few pages from a book called The Big C by a guy called Jeremy Marshall. The subtitle is Hope in the Face of Death. Now, this book is going to be part of a reading challenge that we've put to the church, and we just thought because not everybody's going to be able to get a hold of the book, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be reading a few pages every day on the Coronagate vlogs. That's my first viewer. Hey, how you doing? Who is that anyway? Let me know who you are in the comment section below. So I'm going to be reading a few pages from the book. Let me just give you a couple of announcements as well. Today is a day of prayer and fasting for the Free Methodist Church. That's the kind of family of churches that we belong to. Let me just say, fasting is a bit of a superpower. That is, the church has historically used the Christian disciplines to toughen themselves and to strengthen themselves and also to focus on God. So just encouraged for you to do that if it's safe to do so. I know some of you might be suffering from certain medical conditions and that sort of stuff. Hey, Melissa. Hey, Melissa is actually making emergency space blankets through crisp packets. I don't know if you knew that was possible, but she was telling us about that last time. Hey, Sue Murthy, how you doing? And I just want to remind you as well that tonight we've got the Something More live and interactive podcast, and there's going to be an interview with a guy called Stephen Matthews. Stephen Matthews was the pastor, or one of the pastors, Abundant Life, which became Life Church, and he's also now the principal of a I think it's an online community or some kind of community in which he's training church leaders. So that's definitely worthwhile to listen to. So I'm going to start by reading the first few pages of this, The Big C by Jeremy Marshall. Some of you guys watched me interview him recently. And if you guys have got any comments, make sure you stick it in, because in this, he's dealing with his own struggle with his own mortality and terminal illness. And I just think it's important at this time. And this is a bit of an experiment to see how this works. So here goes. This is the story of my journey with cancer. But as you'll discover if you read on, it's not just about me. I'm 56 years old and have had cancer for the last 7 years. I want to share my experience in the hope that it helps you. As it's my story, some parts of it may be relevant to your experience, other parts may not. You can be the judge. When I was interviewing him, he was just telling me how this whole social distancing and having to keep yourself clean from bacteria is something that he's been doing for a number of years, because if he contracts something small, even like a cold or flu, he could die. I'm not a cancer specialist, nor am I an expert on living with cancer. This is not a book about how to cope with cancer, nor how to beat it. I don't want you to think that I'm some amazing person, because I'm not. Although I am a Christian, I'm not inherently a religious person who sails effortlessly from one high point to another. I have doubts, and I am often afraid. There is nothing exceptional about me, and I'm very far from being a model for others. So why am I writing this short book? So he's just beginning by just reminding us about his ordinariness. He's quite a cool guy, actually. When he was young, him and his dad were involved in smuggling Bibles into Eastern Europe. So he's quite a cool guy. I would like to introduce you to someone else. Someone who has utterly transformed my life, and someone without whom I couldn't survive a single day in this messed up world. Having incurable cancer seems a dead end, but I believe there is hope beyond the Big C. Finding a lump. My journey began one day in early September in 2012 in the shower. I felt a very small lump on my ribs. It was about the size of a couple of very small peas buried just below the skin. I didn't think it was cancer, although inevitably the thought did flash through my mind. I said firmly to myself, "Don't be ridiculous, Jeremy. It's just a lump." In fact, being a typical man, I didn't really do anything about it for the first couple of weeks until my wife Jeanette finally told me, "Go and see the GP." So eventually I did. The GP examined it and to my relief said, "It's nothing to worry about. It's almost certainly just a fatty lump, which is typical at your age." I was 49 at the time. but we will get it checked out just to put your mind at rest. Wow. I don't know if I even would have bothered going to the doctor. Do you know that? Which is crazy. It shows you that small, insignificant things can actually have a huge, life-changing kind of alteration on your life and the life of the people you love. So if you do ever discover lumps, even if they're small, hey guys, particularly men, because you never go to the doctor, make sure you get them checked out. From there, I was referred to a specialist after. Specialist after specialist who ran all kinds of tests and looked puzzled. One said, "I don't know what it is, but it's not a fatty lump." Eventually, doctors decided to take it out to enable a biopsy and better analysis. So I had an operation just before Christmas 2012 to remove it, waiting for the results. It was quite difficult to get the results back from the local hospital after Christmas, as everything was closed. And then the surgeon was on holiday. Melissa, it is a typical man attitude. It is. I mean, I can't deny that. I can't. You always think it's going to be okay, and you don't want to make a fuss, so you just kind of stoically kind of crack on. But if you do have a small lump, make sure you go and see the doctor, even if you don't think it's anything serious. Let them figure that out. That's what their job is. So anyway, it's the Christmas period. It's taken a while to get a hold of the results. Finally, after various phone calls, I started impatiently pushing the surgeon's medical secretary for an answer. She eventually said, "Okay, well, we've referred you to Marsden. Everyone knows that the Royal Marsden only treats one disease, cancer." A couple of weeks later, and further multiple telephone calls from me, I got a call from a medical secretary telling me that the diagnosis was confirmed. It was a type of sarcoma. I think I've said that right. And I was to see the specialist sarcoma oncologist at the Marsden the following week. That's when I felt real terror. I felt my knees go weak and a cold hand gripping my heart. I can still remember exactly where I was when I got the call, just north of Oxford Street on my way to a charity dinner, and how I felt, which was as if I had been punched in the face. It was hard not to let my legs buckle. I went ahead with the dinner as I thought it was too late to pull out, but of course my mind was fixed on the diagnosis, not the dinner. On my way home, I made the terrible mistake of Googling the exact type of cancer. Again, that is probably something I would do. People in the medical profession always warn you away from Google. There are other search engines also available, but I mean, I probably would have done that. But the issue with online articles is they're written by numerous different peoples, like this social video cast thing. Like, this is just me. I don't know anything about cancer. Like, I'm a Bible teacher, but yeah, when he discovered the cancer, he decided to Google it. Again, probably not a great idea, but you would probably stick it in the comment section below. Would you Google it? I think I would. When our son Timothy was born, he got taken into intensive care, and probably the first thing I did, other than pray, was to kind of Google it to make sure he was okay. Hey Martin, how you doing, buddy? Again, I can remember exactly where I was standing in Waterloo Station, platform C, and my feelings of terror when I read on my phone the very gloomy prognosis. If you're just tuning in, just reading a few pages from a book called The Big C, and it's about a guy who was involved in investment banking. He basically had everything going well for him, and he has been diagnosed with an aggressive cancer. That is why the first thing the doctor tells you when you meet them is don't research the prognosis on the internet. Meeting the specialist. When I eventually met the specialist at the Royal Marsden, he told me that I had a rare type of sarcoma, which is a cancer of the muscle tissue. To be exact, a pleomorphic liposarcoma. If you work in the medical profession, I probably pronounced that wrong. Hey Martin, how you doing, buddy? I hope you're doing well during this whole lockdown thing. But the good news, they had caught it early and the prognosis was fairly good. Only about 20% of people had a reoccurrence. Although, if it did reoccur, the prognosis was very poor. 1 in 5, that's pretty good odds, I thought. Like 1 in 5 surviving or 1 in 5 dying, I think. Being an optimistic person, I was sure I would be in the 80%. Okay. To make sure they had got all the cancerous tissue, clearing the margins, I had another operation and then, of course, radiotherapy, which, while tiring, was tolerable. I went every day for about 6 weeks and lay still without moving while the machine read the tattoo marks they'd placed on my body. At its worst, it felt like a mild sunburn. Apart from a few weeks to recover from the operation, I carried on working as normal. Just coming in late and leaving early, life gradually returned to normal. Again, hey Maria, again, that's probably what I would do as well. He's going through radiotherapy and he's just kind of continuing in work. And we were just speaking earlier about that. That's kind of the attitude sometimes of guys, isn't it? Everything seemed to be going back to as it was. I went every 3 months for a checkup at the Marsden and everything seemed fine. In fact, at the last checkup in April 2015, hey Byron, the specialist congratulated me on having gone 2 years cancer-free. That next checkup, my next checkup could be in 6 months' time. I can remember how happy and relaxed I felt leaving the hospital. Each time after the test, I eagerly phoned and messaged family and friends and told them all was good. Then one Saturday at the end of May 2015, my wife Jeanette and I were invited to dinner with some friends in Seven Oaks where I live. Seven Oaks is in the southeast. It is absolutely beautiful. I've been there. Great place. My whole life was about to change. As we started dinner, I adjusted my collar on my polo shirt, which was slightly rucked. As I did that, I felt a very large lump on my left collarbone. It was much larger than the P before, more like a golf ball. I knew immediately what it was. The cancer was back. I made it an excuse, went to the bathroom and examined it carefully. I felt sick to my stomach. In inner turmoil, not wanting to upset anyone, I went back and told my host, I'm sorry, I feel ill. I need to go home. On the way home, I told Jeanette, and on Monday I arranged to go in for a scan at the Marsden. I would get the results in a week. On a day which is seared in my memory, Friday the 13th of June, 2015. The 13th of June is my birthday. So that's the first 5 pages of the book, The Big C. This is the reading challenge which we are encouraging you guys to read during lockdown. We're going to try and do it through the Coronagate vlogs. Let us know if this is worthwhile reading the book rather than just kind of giving you a devotional thought and then kind of interacting with you through the devotional thought. Let us know in the comment section below, because this is a bit of an experiment. I know some of you guys might be a little bit kind of concerned about the copyright and the legalities. I spoke to Jeremy Marshall. He said it was absolutely fine. So that's it from me, guys. Have an absolutely amazing day. Just remember, tonight at 7:30, we've got a live interactive interview with Stephen Matthews. And that's it. God bless you. Stay safe. Take care.